by the numbers, you're going to see just another hoax pulled off by the so-called elite. And people will grasp the whole concept of the world being nothing more than a stage by the numbers. Take a look at this footage. Then I'll break it all down with Sirhan Sirhan.
We just have to change our policies. And I would hope that the Democratic Party would recognize that. So, my thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you.
They make it all dramatic with the creepy music. And even when you hear the supposed gunshot, you can tell it was added in. They dubbed it in to make it seem more dramatic. So all this is a movie passed off as real to the masses. Just watching a movie. That's clear as day. They just, again, make it more dramatic. You don't see anything happening. You see Robert Kennedy on the ground. This one is even more obvious than JFK. Again, nothing more than a hoax. Just a bunch of people moving around. Yeah, pointing at his head. Totally scripted. This guy pointing at his head. The man with the camera pointing right at him. Clear as day, this is nothing more than a hoax. Now, when it comes to all these hoaxes, all these fabrications throughout history, it's always by the numbers. When it comes to Freemasonry, of course, follow my channel, like I stated pretty much in every video, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry being 33. Again, all these hoaxes are coded with the Freemason number of 33. You have Sirhan Sirhan here. Just look at his face. I mean, this is like picture perfect actor's face. And when you're awake, you can see right through this. I mean, it's just, again, nothing more than television or television program. That's all it is. Now, again, breaking down when it comes to the number 33, it's going to be quite obvious. The name Sirhan Sirhan. Okay, Sirhan itself is 33. Of course, Sirhan Sirhan, you get 66. Okay, it's all, again, this is the hidden world that the 99% of the population can't see. Only if things in this world were just as they were presented. Only if life was that simple. It's not. Life is much more complex than that. Okay, now let's take a look again at Robert Kennedy. Talking about coincidence theorists out there, if you want to believe in this coincidence with Robert being 33 and Kennedy being 33. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. It's a complete joke. And of course, like I stated with JFK, so-called hero, there's no heroes in this world stage. Taking a look here at Albert Pike. Like I showed many times, this quote, whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him. Of course, you see the 33 right in plain sight. The name, of course, Albert Pike itself, just so happens to be 33. This is how they do it. Okay. Again, now let's take a look here. Before I play my previous video, I'm going to break down a few more things with the supposed assassination of JFK. Of course, it supposedly took place November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. November 22nd. Just so happens to be basically a 33 date, with November, of course, being the 11th month of the year, 22. You get your 11/22 for 33. Okay, Dallas, Texas. Why this particular location selected? Because Dallas, Texas is 33. Okay, Zapruder, the man that filmed this. Okay, Zapruder being a Mason. Okay, a 33-degree Mason at that. Okay, you see the connection here. The world's a stage. 100%. Now, who took over for Kennedy? First off, let's take a look at this once again with JFK. So-called hero, nothing but a fraud. And it was, of course, Lyndon Johnson, who was sworn in, oddly enough, in an airplane. So all they did was replace 133 with Kennedy with basically another 33 in Johnson. Okay, this is how deep they go when it comes to Freemasonry. Again, how clear can it be? The world's nothing but a stage. Now, I want to show this as well, as I pointed out in my previous video when it comes to Jimmy Carter. People might ask what happened to JFK if he wasn't assassinated the day they said he was. I believe this is the psychopaths behind the scenes pulling the strings. They had Jimmy Carter in as president, of course. There is a real Jimmy Carter, but at times, I believe they slipped in JFK just as a little joke, a little inside joke with the elite, basically poking fun at the masses. I'm going to go into more detail about it. I'll just show this photo side by side. I mean, why would a president change their hair part? The mole, there's no mole here. You see the facial differences, the ears are different. I go into more detail about this in my previous video, but there's no reason to do this. You look at celebrities such as Tom Cruise and all these big name celebrities such as Brad Pitt as well. They don't change their hair part. Why would a older man, a president, be so concerned about changing the part in his hair? And again, he was asked by reporters why they changed his part in his hair. And basically, he just stated here in Newsweek, and by the way, Newsweek is 33, so I'll mention it again in my other video. He says, I don't have an answer for you. I don't have an answer to give to you. These are these so-called elite just poking fun at the sheep. And this is, clear as day. There's absolutely no reason to change your natural hair part. So again, a lot of strange things happening in this world. Now, something else I want to point out as well. Now, a lot of people know about this, but I'm going to point this out for reference. The connection with Lincoln and Kennedy and how all the dates and numbers connect. People need to understand, those that own and control this world from the very beginning to now, it's the same bloodline. They love the numbers. They're all about the number game. For example, with Lincoln being elected to Congress in 1946, 100 years later, 1946, Kennedy is elected to Congress. More like selected in both cases. Both wives supposedly lost a child while in the White House. Again, all these connections. Lincoln shot in the Ford Theater. Kennedy shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. Both shot on a Friday. Both supposed assailants have, these three names in them with John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. So understand me, there's so many. I keep going on here, but the point being, this is not a coincidence. These people that run this world are all about the numbers. Okay, this is how this happens. The same exact scenario with the O.J. Simpson trial. People always wonder who killed Nicole, was it O.J. or not? When it was nothing more than a divide and conquer news story. Just like the whole concept of who killed JFK, when again it was nothing but a hoax. Oh, nothing but these fabrications with this world being nothing but a stage. Of course, real people die in this world. But what you see on television throughout the years, it's all basically nothing more than theater. And people might ask, well, why would they do this? Why would they fabricate this O.J. Simpson case? It's all about dividing the nation in half. Why would they pull off this so-called assassination with JFK? Making people believe these presidents basically are sovereign. They make their own decisions when they're not. They're nothing more than puppets. Now, getting back to the numbers game with O.J. Simpson. Besides, of course, like I mentioned, Simpson being 33, his first name being O.J. as in orange juice. It's the same exact concept as Sirhan and Robert Kennedy, where you get orange, the only color numerology being 33. So you have your double 33s once again. Again, getting back to the whole numbers game, besides being supposedly sentenced for 33 years in prison for stealing back his own merchandise in Las Vegas, he was supposedly sued by the Goldman family for $33 million as well. Again, I can't stress it enough. It's all by the numbers with our rigged reality. But one point I want to make before concluding this presentation is this splice in the video. The original video, again, this is nothing more than a production filmed by a 33-degree Freemason in Zapruder. Take a look at this footage, and you're going to clearly see the splice. And once again, to watch my full presentation on this basic hoax that took place in Dallas, Texas, I'll include that link in the description box below this video. Right here, you're going to see that splice take place right now. Let's just give that one last look. Again, clear as day, there's manipulation with this footage. People need to start asking questions. With all the information I provided earlier, then you see this take place. Doesn't add up, doesn't pass the smell test 100%. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a link to my previous video covering the whole entire JFK assassination hoax with full of occult information as well in the description box below this video. Without a shadow of a doubt, things do not add up. And for many that are new to this information, it's going to take time to process. When you've been fed lies your entire life, 30, 40, 50 years, the initial reaction is to reject this. But those numbers that I mentioned earlier and all these inconsistencies with the footage, Freemasons are filming all this. I mean, it's a complete joke. When you have a critical mind and you break it all down and you look at this again with an open mind.